This here is a particular piece of inside, or an inside look, if you will, to what happens at a conclave. This sheet here that is framed in my office is a tally sheet, more or less a tally sheet for a papal conclave. It's called a Vota scrutini in Latin, and it has a list of all of the cardinals who are in the conclave or present at the conclave, or could be, or potentially present for the conclave, by order of rank, according to the College of Cardinals. Here on this particular ballot sheet, which I have the privilege of, or I had the privilege of receiving from one of the priests who was my professor in Rome, has all of the cardinals that were present at the conclave in 2005, which elected Pope Benedict XVI. And here you can see actually at the very top, Cardinal Ratzinger's name is number 1 because at the time of the conclave in 2005, Cardinal Ratzinger was the dean of the College of Cardinals. And so each of the cardinals are broken down into 3 different groups. First, Cardinal Bishop, Cardinal Priest, and then Cardinal Deacon. The Cardinal Bishops are those who have a particular relationship to the Holy Father and the Holy See, or also given a special diocese that is affiliated with the ancient See of Rome. And so because they are affiliated with those dioceses as a cardinal bishop, they're given that specific title. Then you have the cardinal priests who are here in rank, and those priests, or excuse me, those cardinals are in fact cardinals of an archdiocese perhaps throughout the world that are given a title to a particular historical church in the city of Rome. The cardinal deacons are those who work very closely in the governance of the church and close to our Holy Father. And so here, the final list, you have the cardinal deacons. Each of these sections, at the very top, you have the first cardinal bishop, cardinal priest, and cardinal deacon. All have a particular role to play during the conclave, and so it's interesting to see here each of them and how they're all laid out. The ranking cardinal deacon will always be the one that announces the pope, gives the famous line, Habemus Papam. And so we see here Cardinal Medina Estevez, who was given that task, of course, the time that Pope Benedict was elected. Also at the bottom here, the cardinals would be able to keep track of those who are sick, those who are taking the ballot that day, the number ballot, the vote that was taken, the number of the vote, and of course any other notations, and the date, of course, of the conclave is already inscribed into this ballot. It's a very beautiful piece of history here because this is actually an inside look what takes place inside of a conclave. This is what a cardinal will be looking at while he is considering voting for our next Holy Father. And so from this list, of course, that the cardinals will have in this new conclave will come, of course, our next pope. And so this piece being here is a particular piece of interest because it is something unique in such that very few people probably would have the opportunity to know what exactly a cardinal will be looking at. And I'm very grateful to have this here and also to share with those who might find interest in such historical events, because this is obviously a unique situation in the history of the world, but of course in the history of the church. And so we're very grateful to have this piece of unique history here in my office.